Are you ready for some thrilling news, Leafs Nation? There's chatter brewing around a former Blue Line standout who once graced our roster, and it might just shake things up for the team. After a lengthy recovery from a significant surgery, this player is making strides to return to the ice, and multiple teams are already vying for his services. The Maple Leafs could be in the mix for a reunion, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's unfolding. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button to stay in the loop with all things Toronto Maple Leafs. Fans, we have some intriguing news coming out of the NHL that could directly impact our beloved Toronto Maple Leafs. John Klingberg, the former defenseman who signed a one-year deal with the Leafs before the 2023-24 season, is in the process of making a comeback after a major hip resurfacing surgery. It's been 14 long months since he last played for us, and as he begins to skate again, several teams are showing interest in bringing him back into their lineup. According to Darren Dreger from TSN, there are as many as 7 teams vying for his services. This brings us to a crossroads. Should the Maple Leafs re-engage with Klingberg? With our defensive line already feeling the weight of injuries, it makes sense that the Leafs would consider giving Klingberg another shot. He's a talented puck mover, having racked up 412 points during his career, and even in the playoffs, he's shown he can deliver with 39 points in 63 games. It's hard not to get a little excited thinking about what he could add to our roster, especially as our defense has been a point of concern lately. But let's dissect this a bit further. The Ottawa Senators have been surprisingly good this season, but their defensive line has holes, and the injuries to Travis Hamonic and Jacob Bernard-Docker have exposed them. Meanwhile, the Edmonton Oilers are also in the mix, looking for solidifying moves on the blue line, but without the injury woes we're currently facing. So, why should the Maple Leafs step back into the ring for Klingberg? Honestly, I'm torn. On one hand, he's shown flashes of brilliance in his career, and if he can regain his form after surgery, he could be an integral part of our playoff push. On the other, we already know how difficult it can be for players coming back from significant injuries. There's always that nagging question: will he be the same player? The risk is there, but then again, what's hockey without a little risk? As much as I want to be optimistic, I can't help but feel a little apprehensive. The franchise has invested in players before, only to see their careers take a downturn due to injuries. Do you think this was the best decision for the Leafs? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do we take the plunge on Klingberg, or do we hold off and look elsewhere? The Maple Leafs have a rich history of making bold moves, and the stakes are always high. The organization has made it clear they're not just looking to participate in the playoffs. They want to win it all. If Klingberg can prove he's back to form, he could be the key to solidifying our defense and boosting our chances in the postseason. But if he struggles, it could be a setback that we just can't afford. The emotions around this decision are palpable. Klingberg has played for other teams like the Dallas Stars and Anaheim Ducks, and while he's carved out a solid career, he now faces the pressure of proving he can still compete at the highest level. As fans, we've seen what can happen when players don't live up to expectations, and it's heartbreaking. We don't want to see another season slip through our fingers because a player couldn't return to form. So, what's your take? Are you optimistic about Klingberg's potential return? Or do you think we should focus on other options in free agency? I want to hear your opinions down below. This is a critical moment for the Leafs, and as passionate fans, we need to discuss the implications of every move the team makes. The Toronto Maple Leafs are making some intriguing moves, and as a passionate fan, I can't help but feel a mix of excitement and apprehension about what's ahead. Steven Lorentz is stepping into a role reminiscent of Zach Hyman, and that's both a bold and calculated decision by coach Craig Berube. Hyman, as we remember, wasn't just a player. He was a hard-nosed forward who thrived on winning battles along the boards and creating space for his elite linemates. Now, can Lorentz replicate that magic? The comparisons are striking. When Hyman was with the Leafs, he wasn't yet the 50-goal scorer we see today with the Edmonton Oilers. He was that gritty player, digging for pucks and setting up his teammates, primarily Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. Those two have transformed into some of the league's best players, and Hyman was integral to their early development. So, the question now is, can Lorentz step into that very role and have a similar impact? Lorentz has the work ethic and the skating ability to match Hyman's style. He's not afraid to take it to the boards and chase down pucks, and that's critical in supporting Matthews and Marner. But here's where it gets tricky. He's also aware that he can't just mirror Hyman. He needs to find ways to utilize his size and speed to create opportunities for those two superstars. It's a tall order, but if anyone can do it, maybe it's Lorentz. What's intriguing is that Berube is clearly trying to change the dynamics of the first line, especially given the recent struggles in their offensive output. By moving Lorentz up, he's looking to bring that physical presence back to the top line, something that has been sorely lacking since Hyman departed for the Oilers. It's a calculated risk, and honestly, I'm torn about whether it's the best decision. On one hand, you have to love the idea of Lorentz bringing that forechecking intensity back to the lineup. He embraces the role of digging pucks out and creating that much-needed space for Matthews and Marner to do their thing. But then again, can he truly keep up with the high-speed, high-skill game that these two play? This is where I find myself questioning if Lorentz can elevate his game fast enough to match that level of play. In an interview, Lorentz himself admitted to feeling a bit of that pressure. He's aware of the expectations playing alongside elite players brings. The key here isn't to match their skill set, it's to enhance their game by doing the dirty work. That's exactly how Hyman became a fan favorite. He understood his role and executed it flawlessly. So, as Lorentz steps into this new role, I can't help but hope he finds that same kind of chemistry with Matthews and Marner. We all remember how successful the combination of Hyman with those two was. The forechecking, the relentless pursuit of the puck and the grit. That was the formula for success. The question we're all asking now is, can Lorentz replicate that? And even more importantly, will Berube's strategy pay off? It's a classic case of balancing skill with physicality, and I'm definitely here for it. As I think about the implications of this move, I can't shake the excitement that comes with it. The blend of Lorentz's physicality with the finesse of Matthews and Marner could be just what the Maple Leafs need to reignite their offense. If this works, it could elevate the entire team dynamic and provide a much-needed boost. So, what do you think? Is this the right path for the Maple Leafs? Can Lorentz fill the void left by Hyman and bring that same level of tenacity back to this top line? I want to hear your opinions down below. Are you excited about this move, or do you have your doubts? Let's discuss. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all things Maple Leafs. Activate that notification bell to get all the latest updates, because you won't want to miss what's next for our team. Go Leafs!